Australian tax regime for offshore lenders is generally comparable to, let's say, the major trading partners. There are a few considerations I would like to mention. One is around the interest withholding tax regime, which imposes withholding taxes on interest paid to non-residents. Now, and the standard rate is 10%. This is the tax. There are also a number of exemptions. More specifically, there is a public offer exemptions that is extremely important to know. So to summarize, when an instrument is offered to the public, it may benefit from a tax exemption. The second type of exemption from interest withholding tax regime is maybe contained in treaties. So Australia, as many other jurisdictions, enter into a number of double tax agreements with other countries. Subject to the terms of these agreements, there can be a full exemption from interest withholding tax or maybe just a reduction. Still good to know, and of course here I'm summarizing, but at least you have a flavor. Regarding the other consideration I wanted to make around the tax regime in Australia, I would like to mention the thin capitalization rule. Companies very often, I guess everywhere in the world, prefer to finance their operation through debt instead of equity because there are a number of tax deduction of interest payments on debt. The thin capitalization rule limits the amount of debt the companies can use to finance their operations. To avoid thin capitalization, meaning having companies with too much debt compared to equity. This I'm simplifying, but to give a point. Now, in the context of, in international context, the rules want basically to avoid that there is multinational debt dumped into Australia and maybe profits going elsewhere. Now, there are though 3 tests. So if the borrower the company meets one of the 3 tests, can still benefit from the deductions. Typically in international context, the test the companies will want to meet is the third-party debt. Now, I will stop here because it's an extremely complex matter, but the main point that I want to say is speak with an expert, speak with a tax lawyer, tax advisor, because there are, as everywhere in the world, a number of taxes, a number of rules, but there are also a number of exemptions. Therefore, it's good if you speak with an expert to design the most efficient tax solution for what's your vision.
As someone who has worked basically everywhere in the world, Europe, as mentioned, United States and now Australia, with friends everywhere and family everywhere. So my point is, you will find that Australian people are probably the nicest you will ever meet. Very little ego, typically involved, very little ego, but a lot of focus on the actual transaction, on what you want to do. So you will find people willing to help you putting in place your vision. So my suggestion is, if you have a vision, get in touch, and if you needed to hear that, it's time to do it.